Hello, beautiful monsters. Oh, I see it in your eyes. You didn't come here to be normal. You came here because something inside you is twisting, cracking, unlocking. And now they're frozen, mouths open, hearts stopped. Because they don't even recognize what just crawled out of you. So let me ask you something. What happens when a creature sheds its skin and doesn't reveal a butterfly, but a nightmare? You were never built for their comfort. You were never born for their applause. You were carved in chaos. And now, you've unlocked the version of yourself that doesn't give a single damn about playing nice. They're frozen. Because the rules just changed. You were the quiet one, the underestimated one, the almost, the one they swore would never erupt. And now look at you, standing over the wreckage like a god they forgot to believe in. You didn't just level up. You rebooted the system, and now the old version of you is dead. You feel it, don't you? That haunting silence in the room when you walk in. That stiffness in their smiles. That nervous tremor in their voice when they say, "You've changed." Yes, because you did the one thing that terrifies the herd. You unlocked your final form without their permission. You didn't beg. You didn't explain. You didn't send a warning. You just flipped the switch. And now the energy around you, violent, electric, unholy. They can't process you anymore. Because you're not operating in their frequency. You outgrew the language of the weak. Let me tell you something about unlocking your true self. It doesn't come with a halo. It comes with blood in your mouth and fire in your lungs. You burn through identities. You discard attachments. You walk away from everything they built to keep you obedient. And they panic. Because they trained you to sit still, stay soft, stay small. But now you're not asking questions. You're issuing ultimatums. You're not explaining your vision. You're executing it. You're not looking for a seat at the table. You're flipping the whole damn thing. So now they're frozen, watching you rise from the ruins, and they whisper, "Who even is that? What did they unlock? How the hell did they get like this?" But here's the truth. They were never supposed to understand. You weren't put here to make sense. You were put here to be a disruption, a fracture in the simulation, a glitch that breaks the loop. You didn't unlock some new talent. You unshackled your venom. You activated the codes buried in your madness. You became the version of you that no longer needs approval to breathe. And now, they're scrambling to recognize you, but it's too late, because you're not even you anymore. You're the blueprint now, the mutation, the last stage in evolution they thought was a myth. You killed the version of yourself they could manipulate. And what rose in its place? Unstoppable, unforgiving, unapologetic. They wanted a puppet. But what they got was a predator. You see it now, don't you? They're not just confused, they're terrified, and they should be. Because what you just unlocked is something they can't contain, can't predict, can't even name. You didn't evolve, you snapped. You broke the mold so violently that the old you isn't just gone, it's buried beneath the ash of every time you played nice, just to survive. They remember the version of you that apologized too much, that kept quiet to keep the peace, that shrunk yourself down to fit in their broken little world. But that version of you, you executed it with no warning, no ceremony, just a cold-blooded detachment and a new twisted smile. Now look around. You see their faces? They don't blink, they don't breathe, because the creature they see in front of them was never supposed to exist. You weren't supposed to find the switch. You weren't supposed to make it through the fire. You weren't supposed to discover that inside your silence was a goddamn armory. You cracked, but you cracked outward. And the shrapnel, oh, it's still lodged in their hearts. Because now you speak in tones they've never heard before. You move like you've seen the other side and came back unholy. Your aura isn't just strong, it's destructive. You unlocked the level where you don't seek revenge. You become it. You're not playing the victim anymore. You're the executioner now. You're not knocking on doors. You're kicking them off their hinges, and it's driving them insane. Because no matter how much they analyze, no matter how much they whisper and wonder, they can't calculate the monster you've become. Because your evolution didn't follow logic. It followed pain, and pain doesn't build heroes. It builds weapons. You didn't come out stronger. You came out deadlier. You walk like a curse now, talk like a plague, breathe like a storm with unfinished business, and they feel it. In their bones, in their stomach, in that instinctual corner of the mind that knows. This one isn't safe anymore. They're frozen because they don't know the rules now. The old you had limits. The new you, no breaks, no rules, no mercy. You don't forgive. You don't explain. You don't need them to understand. Because you are not requesting comprehension. You're delivering shockwaves. Every room you enter now becomes a courtroom. And guess what, sweetheart? You're the judge, jury, and end of their fucking delusion. This is beyond change. This is detonation. You unlocked the version of yourself that they swore would never survive. And now that you have, they're frozen because deep down, they know what's coming. You're not here to win anymore. You're here to erase. Beg him. Hit at them. Now that's rich. They used to mock you, ignore you, dismiss you like background noise. Now they're begging for you to pause, to ease up, to go back to the harmless little soul they once fed on. But here's the punchline. There's no back to go to. That version of you, the quiet one, the fragile one, was the cage they kept you in. And you burned it to ash. You didn't just unlock something new. You unleashed the unspeakable. You feel it, don't you? That rhythm in your chest. That wild, venomous electricity coursing through your bloodstream. It's not rage. It's not grief. It's power. The kind that comes after the death of your last illusion. After the final betrayal. After the moment you realized no one was coming to save you. So you had to become the storm yourself. And now that storm has no mercy. You're moving like an avalanche through their comfort zones. Like a virus that learned to laugh. Like a ghost that came back armed with every secret they tried to bury. They don't just fear you. They don't know what you are anymore. They stare at you like you've become myth. A rumor. A glitch in the matrix that wasn't supposed to make it past the intro. But here you are, moving faster, hitting harder, thinking 10 steps ahead while they're still stuck on page 1. You used to crave their approval, now you leave them speechless. You used to chase peace, now you walk with chaos in your pocket like loose change. Because when you finally understand that they only loved the version of you that served them, you stop showing up as anything but the overdose, and now they can't handle the dose. Too raw, too loud, too awakened, too you. You used to wait for the right moment. Now, you are the moment. You used to think you needed more time. Now you take it by the throat. You used to explain yourself to people who never listened. Now you let your silence do the screaming. They're calling it arrogance. They're calling it too much. They're calling it a phase. But deep down, they know. This isn't a phase, this is arrival. This is unholy coronation. This is the moment the system starts malfunctioning, Because the glitch didn't just survive, it became sentient. You're not confused anymore. You're awakened. You're not waiting anymore. You're claiming. You're not healing anymore. You're hunting. Let them beg. Let them tremble. Let them call you insane, inhuman, demonic. Because when they say, "You're not even you anymore," you smile. Because they're finally right. You're not the old version of yourself. You're not here for healing arcs and redemption stories. You're here for the reckoning. So this is it, huh? The final version. The part where even fate throws its hands up and says, "I didn't write this." Because what you unlocked isn't evolution. It's not awakening. It's possession. You're not walking around with confidence. You're gliding through timelines like a glitch they can't patch. You're not healed. You're weaponized. You didn't just break the matrix. You turned around and set it on fire. And now the world, it's glitching out, just trying to make sense of you. Their brains can't calculate your presence. Their spirits can't absorb your frequency. And their egos shattered. Because the version of you that played by the rules is dead. You think they're frozen now? Wait till they realize you're not stopping. There's no summit, no finish line, no white flag in your bloodstream. You've entered the mode where time slows down for you, where energy obeys you, where karma doesn't knock anymore. It reports to you. You unlocked the part of yourself that can't be put back in the cage. There's no antidote, no off switch. You're not on fire. You are the fire. You're the consequence, the aftermath, the ghost that didn't just come back. It came back armed and laughing. You've got people now praying to a god they don't believe in, just to protect themselves from the thing you became. They're lighting candles, doing rituals, whispering your name like it's a curse. Because it is. Because you don't knock anymore. You enter. You don't ask anymore. You take. You don't intimidate. You infect. They don't say your name in rooms anymore. Because your name comes with a feeling, a shift, a pressure in the air like something just entered that doesn't belong here. Because you don't belong anywhere. You outgrew the world itself.